Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning for our 6 a.m. moment of devotional practice, or whatever time you join us. I'm so pleased we are able to leave the recordings live permanently, as I know people have different schedules and want to tune in for their practice at any time. And I love reading your comments and receiving your messages. If you're joining us for the first time, we'd love to know where you're joining from. I'd like to let you know that we are using 365. There it is. 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes to guide us, to give us thoughts to think about, to form our prayer around. And we are broadcasting on the Spiritual Leader, Centers for Spiritual Living Spiritual Leader Facebook page, also on the main page and the World Ministry of Prayer page. And if you've got friends who don't use Facebook, you can let them know that we also broadcast on YouTube. And I've put the link in the description. Every morning I'll do it now, to the YouTube page, so that there's easy access if you want to help friends. So this morning, our reading for February the 22nd is "Deep within me dwells infinite love." So the focus for today's contemplation is the presence of the divine in this form of love today, that I didn't create, that I did not make, that is there. And there means everywhere. But today I'm focusing on it being, the there being within me, deep within me, with emphasis on I didn't put it there. It is what it is, what it always has been. Now, through this practice, as I dwell on it and think about it and reflect on it, describe it, get familiar with it, then it has the possibility, I could say it like that, of expressing itself through me in a more conscious way. So that's what we're doing today. And there is a biblical quote, a scriptural quote, Matthew 12:55. Mine says, is that correct? Because there are not, that can't be correct, unless I'm not seeing correctly. That's more likely in the 30s, because I think it ends at 50. Well, we better check that up. But here's the quote: "A good person, out of the good treasure of the heart, brings forth good things." The good treasure is this living spirit, in the form today we're looking at as love. From that presence within, then through my mouth comes that which reflects the goodness within. So this Matthew 12, it's a very interesting passage. It's all about the controversy. You say controversy here? I forget how to pronounce it. About whether or not Jesus should be working on the Sabbath. And there's this argumentative dialogue about it. And then he addresses the objecting people, saying that your words, I'm just remembering and paraphrasing now, your words reflect, here's how we would say it, your words reflect your consciousness. And so when your consciousness, your awareness is strongly, loyally connected to that which is alive in you, it has a better chance of showing up through your words. So that's what's going on today. Now, as I read this today, you'll see it talks about disagreement, conflict, and turning away from that. I want to remind myself that this by no means indicates that we never disagree with anybody, or that we don't have a dialogue or a debate, or that we don't feel strongly about a position. What it does indicate is that the style in which we engage with our disagreements and our debates is affected by that which is strongly alive in our consciousness. So by no means does it indicate that we just take anything that the world produces, or we don't stay in unkind situations, or we don't speak up for our rights, or we don't speak up for other people. We do, and then the style in which we do is impacted by the infinite love that dwells deep within me. So that is the idea behind today's reading as I take it. The divine is the giver of all things through its love. That divine, called the Spirit, is always at peace. There is no argument in divine mind. The Spirit has never doubted itself, or opposed itself, or disagreed with itself. This is the oneness that is the divine. And now deep within me is that treasure, that divine. And so it within me never gets angry, though I might, if boundaries are crossed or needs are not met, I might find myself getting angry, and I can remind myself there is that within me that remains in its original state. Deep within me is that which never gets troubled or afraid, and so when I seem to be in conflict, I become still so that I may listen to that voice within, because then it will guide me through the conflict. It will guide me to take a strong stand with something I disagree with. Such a lovely thought. Harmony is not the absence of disagreement. There is a push and pull tension, dynamic tension in life that I think must be essential to well-being. So we are not training ourselves to be conflict avoidant. We're training ourselves to be skilled in the expression of the living Spirit within us through everything that comes before us in the world. All the love there is right here, right now with me. I now cease all self-opposition. I stop opposing myself. What a thought. We could spend a whole month on that just alone. I hear only the voice of love. We're talking about the inner treasure speaking to me right now. That's what I'm tuning into before I go out into the day. I hear only its voice speaking to me. I listen to nothing else but its words of wisdom guiding and inspiring me. And when I listen, there is a response from something greater than myself. It is the mysterious energy of love, the active principle of unity. Everything loves, and everything responds to love. It is a universal quality, shared alike by all, the central flame of the universe. So everything responds to love. I must think again of my grandmother. She is like the universe. Her love was permanent, unconditional, and yet If I wanted to do something bad or dangerous, she would oppose that. She would stop it. She would intervene. She would argue with me about it. So you see, in the presence of love, she was able to maintain her position of loving me while doing what was hers to do in her duty as a grandmother, a parent figure. You see, so there is nothing in this spiritual practice that is requiring us to lose our sense of duty in the world. Indeed, it's asking us to maintain our sense of spiritual identity while we engage. And now this last paragraph is the affirmative words that we can use in our spiritual mind treatment. And interestingly, I recognized them right away. These come from meditation at the back of the Science of Mind, the textbook. That's what we fondly call it, the textbook, the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And if you're a lover of the Science of Mind, then you know these words already. It's one of the most beautiful affirmative ideas. So I will read them in the middle of our spiritual mind treatment. Okay. So let's take a moment then to let go of everything, and to let that which is permanently in its original state where it is always be where it is and what it is, and recognize it by feeling it as a presence, by knowing it as an idea, not only in the mind of the living spirit itself, but in everything, everywhere. The eternal. Love. Creative power. This one is in and through all creation. It is not diffused, diluted, reduced by what is created. It is the logical and necessary self-expression of that which is permanently in its original state, revealing itself in what we call an ever-expanding reality. This is why it is called mysterious. Deep within me, I am aware of its presence as my presence. Deep within me, I'm aware of its love as my love. Deep within me, I'm aware of its guiding mind as my own intuition. Deep within me, from this presence, I connect to all others, maintaining a beautiful connection with its love. And so I affirm that I desire to be loved, and so I allow myself to love greatly, to feel warmly inclined toward all people, and to be helpful on their behalf. I give as I wish to receive. As I love and cooperate with other people, so do they love me and give me their cooperation. My loving thoughts attract caring friends to me. In this expression of love, I grant safe passage in my mind to all those people I encounter today. And also in my mind and in this moment of devotional prayer, I think of those people who are facing health challenges, and I grant them safe passage in my mind, with love and wholeness being my rudder today. I hold them gently in my mental pocket as I travel through the day. I give thanks for spiritual community and for the consciousness of being one together through this shared reality, the mind of creation. And I release this word into the spiritual law, and I let it be so. And so it is. If you have someone in your life who is struggling with a health issue, please consider contacting our World Ministry of Prayer. Every morning, the link is in the description of the broadcast. There are trained prayer practitioners licensed on duty waiting to receive your request so that they may partner with you on behalf of those that you love and carry in your heart. After this broadcast, I sit here for a moment, be quiet with no agenda. I don't know how long I will sit, and I invite you to do the same thing. It might be just a moment, might be 5 minutes. Sometimes it's a whole hour just watching. I adopt the attitude of being an observer of my inner world. I thank you in advance also for sharing these broadcasts. It's tremendously helpful. You are helping me do my job of articulating the practices and the vision and the mission of our Centers for Spiritual Living. So thank you for this web of connectivity and for journeying with me, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning.